Morning, Sleeping Beauty. We ain't got time for this. We've got great adventures to go on, Steve. Wonderful things to see. The sights, the sounds, the senses of Spain. While we're here, while it's still lasting. Anyway, I made you a cup of tea. So this is where we are parked. We spent the night on, yes, you've guessed it, another free air. Not a single other van here or motorhome, which was a bit surprising because it's perfectly all right. And we're only about an hour away from Barcelona. I've just been for a run. Oh my God, that was difficult. There was absolutely no gas in the tank this morning. I've been finding it's really difficult to go for runs because I find myself on trails that go nowhere, that lead to dirt tracks, and you don't really know where you're going. But worse than that, I tend to find in Spain they have a lot of dogs that are kept as like guard dogs, and it's really quite frightening because although the majority of them are fenced in, you end up running through these really rural areas and these massive dogs come barking aggressively to the fence, and it just puts you off your stride. You don't want to do it, you know. So a few places I've had to turn back because I think I don't want to go through there. Like, what if there's a gap in the fence and you think something might happen? I've even come across dogs off their lead when I've been running or walking, and the dog has come like pelting towards me, like we're talking like big Alsatian types barking, and it's only because the owners sort of called it back instantly. So yeah, it's a bit disconcerting. I know people do sometimes have like guard dogs in the UK, but generally we're not really used to seeing it, whereas out here, because so much of it is quite remote, it's much more common to see, but just not very nice to run amongst. Right, breakfast time. We're back on the healthy stuff. We've got the yogurt out, we've got the porridge oats, some fruit. We're no longer those drunken Benidorm people. No. We're trying to rectify it for now. Oh, right, let's move on, Stevie.
Let's go.
Let's go. I just put the camera on and said, you're in, Steve, and he's like, yeah, what? Yeah, what? What?
What are we filming for, Willie?
I can't remember now. Oh yeah, so before we do move on, I just wanted to say that we have moved on significantly since we last saw you. So we've come up to the northeastern part of Spain. We're in Catalonia, is it? Mm-hmm. Catalonia, but I think you say Catalonia, do you? Yeah. Catalonia. We've got no set plans, but we did pick something last night that we're going to head to today that is kind of en route as we go back to France, and we're going to go to a little village that's sort of not in the mountains but in the hills. And it sounds very pretty and lovely and gorgeous.
Come on then, let's get going.
Let's go, get going, yeah. Get going? Get what?
Get going.
Get going. Oh, well done, Days. These are some big old hills, aren't they? You don't like them. And well done, Steve, as well, obviously, being the actual driver. It is monotonous. We're just winding our way up these hills, which are much steeper and narrower than they look on the camera. It's not ideal. Oh, I do not know what's going on, but we're just being taken through what actually looks like quite a attractive village, but it's really difficult to drive through. Oh.
Take the next right on Placa Catalonia, then turn right.
Right, so there should be a right turn here somewhere.
We haven't got to go back through.
I hope not. No, we will just make sure we don't. I had no idea it was going to be like this. This is awful. There's barely any room to move out of the way if another car comes. We're on a steep-sided mountainside. Look at the state of our windscreen. I'm going to stop filming now, that's awful. Oh my God, that was absolutely awful, but we have arrived. I just regret it completely, to be honest. I feel like this was a big mistake. So we've arrived in a village called Mura. I knew it was small, but given what we just went through, which is, we can never emphasize enough on the camera. I didn't film most of it, but it was just horrible, horrible roads. Given what we went through, I'm not sure it's really worth us coming all this way. I just kind of picked something en route that looked like it might be quite nice, without going too far out of our way. But going down those roads, oh my God, no. I think we've really decided that mountain villages are just not for us. It's not fair on Stephen driving the camper van through that. Daisy doesn't like it either. Yeah. So we are going to spend about an hour here wandering around, and then we're going to try and get out and hope that we don't have to go back the way we came. The other way on the map doesn't look much better, but I don't know. At the moment, we're parked right down there. There's like an information centre, but it's closed today, and that looked like okay parking. So that's right in the centre, well, just outside the village. Yeah, pretty as they are, I think we're going to forget mountain villages from this point on. Just far, far too much trauma all round. Still, hopefully it will be nice. Well, you know what, that was a lot nicer and prettier than I was expecting when we got up here, given the trauma it took to actually get here through all those horrible roads. And then when we got here, it didn't seem like there was anything here. I thought it was going to be a bit of a waste of time, but I've actually really enjoyed walking around these old stone buildings. Really strange though, there's hardly anything here. In terms of like shops and stuff like that, but the one shop we did see was like a Christmas shop, which is unbelievable. I did buy something. I bought what it looked like some like pumpkin and orange marmalade, so I took that back. That was about €6, but I just thought, oh god, like I better buy something, you know, because it's a tiny shop in the middle of nowhere. Stephen's not overly impressed, but I just think most of that's because of the journey it took to get here, which is fair enough because it was awful. He said he was a bit bored, there's nothing to look at. Yeah, maybe we've just been spoiled, eh? But most likely it's more to do with the journey. And it reminds me a bit of La Alberca, actually, La Alberca, in the sense that there's a lot of big stone buildings, very well preserved, and I think a lot of them are medieval. So much of this is like time has stood entirely still. I think wine is a big thing in this region, and in particularly for this village. I think they've grown it. I think they still do even now. I'm not 100% sure though. And that has kind of been a lot of the trade that's gone on here over time. Other than that, it seems like a place that, of course, people still live here, but it's like practically untouched, which is pretty wonderful. It's just another little chocolate box postcard perfect Spanish village, and I'm glad we got to see it despite the trauma. But the sun's starting to go down now and we want to get off this mountain, so there is no time to go for this walk. We need to get off because there is no way we are facing those awful roads in the darkness. I don't want to put Stephen through that. I don't want to put Daisy through it, and I don't want to put the nervous wreck that is myself through it either. That's just a three-way recipe for disaster. I'm going to stop talking so we can go. Should we just go? So this doesn't seem so bad so far. The road is fairly newly resurfaced, and it seemed the least painful route, the least twisty, but nonetheless we're at the top of a mountain. Oh my god,
Swats.
except you got drivers like that probably looking at this and thinking, oh, what are you talking about, you're being dramatic, like the road looks fine. But it never really shows what it's actually like. And when you're in a camper van, and one as old as ours, bless her, the struggle is a lot worse. Morning, Steve.
Morning.
We're up again. We kind of didn't finish where we left off yesterday, did we?
I don't know.
I don't know what happened. Well, we got off the mountain pass. We survived.
Yes.
Daisy survived. Stephen survived. I survived.
Aye.
But it was a very pretty village and worth seeing, I think.
It was alright, it wasn't that bad. It was just a bit boring.
You were stressed out, to be fair.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, it was fun. It was fun.
It was fine. 9 out of 10 then. So we have arrived in a place called Calelladepalafrugell. We've tried to look this up. We've tried to look it up on YouTube. People pronouncing it, could not find anything. So I've just had to put it into a Spanish translator in Google and hope that that's the right way you say it. Calelladepalafrugell. So this is a little coastal town on the Catalonia coast. Very touristy and quite small. And it's meant to have some really nice beaches and stuff like that. And next to it is a town called, well, I think it's called Lafranc, which I'm assuming is just said like Lafranc and far less complicated, you would guess. I don't know. So the plan is to walk between the two towns today and just get a bit of a coastal walk. And, you know, we haven't managed to see much of the Mediterranean coast, have we? Apart from in Benidorm, because we've had to rush this last bit of the trip. We thought, okay, since we've got to head back and get the ferry, let's try and just get a little bit of Spanish coasting just before we have to go back home to the joys of the British weather. So unfortunately today, even though the sun's out, it's extremely windy. So whose genius idea was it to pick a coastal walk, Steve? I don't know. Yeah. But the sun is out, so you know, hopefully that'll make it all right. So that's what we're going to do. The parking in this region, in fact, all of the Catalonia coast, it is so difficult to park. This is a world away. When I say in terms of parking, I mean in terms of overnighting. And this is an absolute world away from the North Spanish coast, like in Galicia and places like that. Completely different. In Catalonia, it is much harder to overnight near the coast. And there are plenty of airs inland, but the coast is very much a difficult spot. So right now, we're in a little makeshift car park, which I think is okay for us to at least park for the day. Some people have spent the night here, but I don't think we're going to because it's very residential, isn't it? It seems all right. It seems safe. We're a little bit like, we were kind of on the fence, but I think we've kind of swayed more to the side of it seems safe enough. And there's nothing to suggest otherwise. So we're going to take a chance, leave Daisy here, and hopefully come back and still find her here in one piece.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's go and get some sunshine on the Spanish coast, Steve.
All right then.
All right then.
Let's go.
It's such a shame that this little beach here is in the shade. The sun's kind of going over the cliff that way. I guess that's what happens because we're on the Mediterranean coast, so it's facing east pretty much. Then as soon as the sun gets to a certain point in winter, it's going to disappear behind the cliffs. I wouldn't fancy going swimming in that though. It does seem a bit rough. Too many rocks. Still, if that's the sign of things to come on this little walk, I'm pretty excited. I think we should get off this beach though, Steve. It feels like we could get cut off, don't you? I don't know if the tide's going in or out. And the thing about Mediterranean tides, I'm not sure how they work. I feel like it does have tides, but I don't think they're particularly big. But does that apply to all beaches? I don't know. If anyone does know, let us know, because it'd be interesting to know if there are like big tide ranges in the Med. Not a bad start, eh? Well, I think it's safe to say why everybody flocks here and why so many homes are here along this seafront. I don't know how many people live here, I don't know how many are holiday homes, but you can see why it's so desirable. There's so many little coves with little beaches. I just got this sandy one here all to myself, nobody on it. Crystal clear waters. Oh my god. This one seems alright to swim in as well, so I wish I bought my swimming shorts. Never mind. I could stare at that water for hours. But I'm not going to, otherwise we'll never get a video done, so we can't just stand here filming this, can we? Very pretty though. I have never been to Greece, but I sort of feel like that reminds me of what Greece looks like from what I have seen in pictures and stuff. But of course it still looks very Spanish as well. I don't know where Stephen is, I've lost him somewhere. He's probably got fed up of me filming. And you know what, even though it's windy, that sun is still really warm. What more can you want in December, you know? The thought of going from this back to whatever's in the UK right now, well, it's best not to think about it. So almost everything here is closed up, which I guess makes sense, it's out of season, but that proves... Say again?
Every time of day.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's siesta time, maybe that's it. Oh yeah, keep forgetting about that. Although, that being said, I don't get the impression these have just shut up for a couple of hours. A lot of these look like they're just shut.
Yeah,
It's so weird, we come to the seafront and there was all these really expensive restaurants, and in between were estate agents selling property. I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know. You can come and eat expensive food or go into an estate agent's and buy a house. That's what you can do here. But also go on the very nice beaches. I mean, it's all right. Seafront's definitely the shining star, isn't it? I mean, once you come into these little back streets, it's just houses and apartments, really. I wouldn't say there's anything specific to look at. Not to sound ungrateful or anything, but if you come here, you're coming here because of the seafront. So serene here, isn't it, Steve? So quiet. These properties along here are pretty amazing, and the town itself, I think we were saying earlier, like there's not much here and it's not particularly amazing to look at when you're in and among the buildings, but clearly it's the seafront and the beaches that are the selling point, and it's all selling itself on being a very quiet place, because every single beach you're banned from pretty much doing everything except breathing, aren't you? So there is nothing you can't, no dogs, no ball games, no music, no drinking, no smoking, no whatever else, like none of that is, all of that is banned on the beach. And it does feel like a place that either maybe people retire to, or it's just like holiday places. It's the very definition of it, isn't it?
Not anybody really lives here.
No, it doesn't feel like anyone lives here. You look at these properties, so it feels very exclusive, away from the clouds. The crowds. Well, we're away from the clouds today. Still, very nice. We can park our van, come and wander in and experience it for free.
Aye.
Can't argue with that.
Aye. We can make it going anyway.
We need to move, yeah, because it's getting late again. Well, I think we're in La Franque now, is it, Steve? I think it's the next one over. Oh my God, if anything, this feels even more kind of expensive and exclusive, doesn't it? Again, everything's really quiet. One, because it's the afternoon, but two, because it just feels like a holiday place and that nobody's actually here. It seems bizarre to say we don't find it interesting, but what we mean is, we just mean like the towns here are not that interesting. It's just a very peaceful place to live if you've got the money to buy an expensive property. But in terms of actual beaches, wow, it is so gorgeous. Absolutely pristine waters. But I think what we're going to do, because time's getting on now, we've got to walk all the way back to the van, and then we're going to make some tracks again tonight further north towards the French border. So what we're going to do is have a little look around, not much at all, and then head back, aren't we?
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's go. Well, we made it back safe and sound. Daisy's still here. Nothing bad's happened. I don't think I'd ever want to stay the night here personally, would you? I'm sure it's all right.
A bit too open.
Yeah, you've got residential flats behind us and then one's right in front, and yeah, it's just a bit public really, but apparently it's fine. So, you know, if you really wanted to, you'd probably be all right. But for us, we're going to move on now and head up the road, and we're going to go to the glamour of a gas station.
Aye.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, good evening all. We have moved on. We had a nice walk today, didn't we?
Yeah, it was alright.
Calelladepalafrugell. What do you think, Stephen? I always feel like I'm RuPaul when I say that. Like, when he says that on the
It's
shows.
alright. I mean, it's a place nobody really lives. Like,
No.
everything, like all the apartments seemed like they were empty and shut up, and there was like billions of parking spaces everywhere. So it's not
Yeah.
like people were just kind of living there but just had their blinds closed. I think it was a very empty place.
It felt like nobody was there, didn't it? It felt like Stephen said, the parking spaces were empty. There weren't people milling about. It felt like some of the businesses were closed up because it was winter, not just because it was afternoon siesta time. And it just wasn't of great interest to us. Like, we like the historic places if we're going to go round, or we like something to look at. There was nothing to look at there except the coast, which of course was more than enough. That was absolutely perfect. That was exceptional, and it was so peaceful.
Aye.
But that's that. We've moved on. We've settled down. I think we've earned a beer after that walk, don't you?
Yeah, just a small one.
Just a small one, just like a giant litre bottle. No, it's actually about 2 litres, isn't it?
No, it's a litre.
Oh, it's a litre. Okay. I don't know. So we're doing that, and after our drive through the mountains in Mura, I feel like we've kind of experienced the two extremes of Catalonia. Like, we've had the two isolated extremes of Catalonia. So we've had the isolation of the coast, and then the isolation of a pretty mountain village. They could not be any more different. The only thing they had in common is they were both really quiet. And in Catalonia, you've got all of that. So you have got the coast, and you've got so many mountainous areas to go and explore. So you can get a lot of variety here. And if you want the big cities like Barcelona, then go ahead. But we're not going to be doing that. Not Barcelona anyway. Not in a van. But I feel a bit sad now, because this is the end. This is the last bit of Spain, and then we've got to drive into France. We're going to cross the Pyrenees. Well, probably not through the Pyrenees, but at the side of them. And then the weather's going to change, and it's back to the UK. But then I just think, how lucky are we that we got to do this? There's no point being ungrateful. Although I'm sad to go back, we've got to go abroad twice this year for 2 long stretches, and I don't know if we'll ever get to do that again. We always say that, but we don't know what's in store for us when we go back home. We don't know what our jobs are going to be like. We don't know if that's going to last. We don't know what we're going to do if the job doesn't last. What do we do to maintain this? Do we settle down again? Do we do something else? We just don't know, do we? There are so many things up in the air right now. So just savouring all of this. We're savouring all this driving around, seeing these places, because we just don't know what the hell the future holds.
No.
That's kind of exciting in a way. It's best to think of it like that rather than be nervous about it.
Aye. With that, I think we're going to settle down for the night now.
We're going to settle down, have some dinner, and have our gigantic beers.
Yeah.
We'll catch up with you in the morning.
Before they go, this is what we've got for dinner.
Oh, yeah. Tortilla.
A tortilla.
Which is like a Spanish omelette.
Now, I used to look at these things and think, oh, they don't look very nice. But actually, they really are.
They are delicious, and that's a spinach one. So we're very much looking forward to that. We thought we'd get a tortilla before we leave. It's a very big thing in Spain, and they're very, very tasty.
You can get them at home as well. We just never
we never think to, actually, yeah. But they're much bigger here. They're much more common, and you see it in tapas bars all the time as well.
No.
So we will catch up with you tomorrow, and we'll see you in the morning.
Night.
Night. Morning, morning. So this is the place we've woken up in and we came to last night. It is just a garage. The weird thing here is that people were washing their cars constantly till quite late at night, and then they started washing their cars at 6 in the morning when it was pitch black. Yeah, I don't imagine, does that happen in the UK? I'm not familiar with it. Maybe they just like washing their cars more in Spain. Not very exciting, but actually we're very grateful to have these places, because obviously in the UK there's not many garages or service stations that you can actually stay at, and the ones that do let you stay, so the motorway service stations in the UK, they usually charge you like 15-20 quid a night, which is ridiculous obviously, because it's not a campsite. Plan for today is we're going to stay here for the day. I've got the laptop out, going to do a video. We've got electric hookup. Stephen's just filling up the water with what's left in our tank. It's like, what is it, Steve? €2 for 4 hours of electric.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I'm at my little desk. This is where I'll be for the next however many hours and hours putting this together, and maybe go for a run later. I think there's some options around here. I think there's a couple of villages, and we're just going to sort of potter about in the BP car fuel station. Maybe have a little walk out later, see what's about.
Maybe.
So that's the plan for this morning and the rest of the day.
Exciting stuff.
Oh yeah, really exciting. All right then, I better get on.
Yeah,
I want a cup of coffee.
All right then.
Get on with it, Steve. Get that kettle on.
All right then.
Stephen's on the home DIY skills. Actually, not DIY. What would we class this as? Crafts work, perhaps. We have these little blackout blinds that we use for our little windows. We currently use it for one of our side windows, and we use it for the back window at the back of the van. But at the moment, they've been stapled on Velcro all around, so it can stick to the side of our van and just be easy to take up and down. However, staples are annoying. They constantly come out and they fall out everywhere and things keep falling apart. So Stephen's taken up a bit of sewing. Got some nice lime green going on there. Jazz it up a bit, and that should make it last a lot longer, plus it will look a bit neater. So this here is a makeshift thing. We have got a curtain pole that we've put up here, but this is just a blackout blind, and the plan is, I think Stephen's going to do it when we're next at work. We're going to buy some material we want and then kind of sew this onto the material, so we've actually got a proper curtain but still with the blackout blind attached, because obviously it doesn't look very attractive at the moment. Are you finding it quite therapeutic, Steve?
I don't know if therapeutic's the word. I can space now.
Yeah, you've got really good at that. It's a good skill to have.
Because on my finger you can't see them, but I can. There is 0.5 centimetre marks.
And that allows you to stitch accurately, like with the spacing.
Me to stitch spacing accurately, but I still can't stitch in a straight line.
No, but you're getting there, and it's a good skill to have, and we both need to learn it more, really, because sewing is useful on many counts. Before we left our old lives, we got ourselves a sewing machine, and we decided to start taking it up, and we got really excited. We started going to charity shops and things and buying old materials, and we just got like all these ideas in our head. We're going to make clothes and things like that. We never got that far because suddenly the van thing came up, and that happened. So the sewing machine, I think that's gone to my mum. That's all on hold. But we did get really into it, didn't we? So we started making cushions. I've made a really nice cushion with some butterfly pattern, old quilt I think it was, that mum still got now. You've made a few cushions and things, and we started looking at clothes. So, you know, if we settle down again, it's definitely something we can take up. In the van, it's just a bit limited, isn't it, what you can do?
And the reason I'm having to do this by hand, rather than use our sewing machine at your mum's, is because the Velcro kept tangling.
What a strange life we live, Stephen. Sat here in Spain, in a BP fuel station garage, by some bins, you're sewing, I'm making a video about our travels. It's a weird old life, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
And I'm glad we did it. So this is today's lunch. Look at the size of that. And it looks absolutely delicious, even if it looks like throwing the kitchen sink at it, but that's what I wanted, so why not? We've got instant mash, we've got some leftover tortilla, we've got tabbouleh, is it, Stephen? Yeah. Tabbouleh? I don't know how you say that. It's like a pastry type of dish, I think, and you see it everywhere here. We've got some mackerel in olive oil, and we've got loads of salad, and we've got some guacamole on there as well. Lovely, lovely. God, we've had a bit of a drama today, haven't we? We're all set, ready to go and leave this gas station that we've been staying at, and we're heading out of Spain today. And we ran out of gas. We woke up, couldn't even make a bloody cup of tea this morning.
No.
We just weren't anticipating that at all. So that ran out. So yeah, Stephen had to run in, get some hot water so we could make a cup of tea from the gas station. Yeah. And then we couldn't find the bloody van key. So we had everything upside down, and Stephen had put them in a strange place. I don't know why they were there. Yeah. Why do we do anything though?
I think it's a bit of a blessing in disguise though, because we would have stayed tonight, but it looks like there's lots of snow coming to the Pyrenees tomorrow, so we want to get over that and get out of Spain before that arrives. Yeah,
so sadly this is the end of the Spanish part of our trip. I feel quite sad, and also we're heading into terrible weather. Why are we leaving Spain again?
We're heading away from terrible weather. The weather's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But still, why are we leaving Spain again?
Yeah.
I mean, what is this? What we have to go back to real life?
Yeah.
Come off it.
On that note,
why are you hurrying me up?
I don't know.
Are you telling me I talk too much?
Yeah. On that note, we're going to end the video now. Please push your like button. Very important to push your like button. Push your subscribe button if you want to follow the channel, and push your notification bell if you want to be notified when the next video comes out.
Yep, that's it. I've got nothing else to say. I'll just be told off. So. Yeah. All right, well, thank you for watching. We'll see you in probably another country, most likely France, next time we see you.
Oui.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.